Hi guys, my name's Denny and welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to be giving you a very quick behind the scenes look at our latest record, That Beat, which is out on Hot Creations. It's a collaboration between myself, Steve Bogg, and we've got Mikey V on vocals. I'm just going to give you a rundown on each individual sound in the track, so it'll give you a little bit of an insight how we made the record. Now, as Steve and myself are working remotely on this track, he's in Germany and I'm in the UK, what we would do is add an element to the track and then bounce the audio stems and send to the other person. Then they do the same and we just go back and forth like that. So these are the final audio stems, and that's why there's no VST instruments in there, but you'll be able to hear and I'll explain which we used and what VSTs we used for what. So let's dive in. So as we knew we wanted to make an acid house record, we knew that the drums had to be super punchy. And I always think the 909 kits are great for this. They always just kind of give you that punchy, weighty kick, and especially working with the 303, they kind of really work together nicely. So that's exactly what we've got here. We've got a 909 kick. Nice punchy kick there. We've then got a shaker. Quite an organic sounding shaker there. Got a little bit of side chain on it just to give it that movement. We've then got a 909 clap and hat loop. Very straight, nothing too complicated. We've then got some crashes and reverse crashes here just to kind of emphasize the elements in different parts of the track. So you see that the reverse and the crashes come in every kind of 16 bars. We've then got a 909 snare roll. Really nice punchy snare there, cuts right through. Then got an open hat. Now that's a 909 hat, and what we've done is filtered the bottom end out of it, so it's not as weighty. You're just kind of getting that top end of it, which really kind of pokes through. We've then got some nice rhythmic snares that pan. They just kind of give movement and add elements to the track. They kind of come in midway in the record and just kind of pick it up. We've then got a reverse crash, which what we've actually done there is time stretched it to kind of make it long. It kind of works as a white build up in the break. We've then got a cowbell, which kind of is one of the main elements in the track. It just kind of really pushes the rhythm. And that's panning as well. We've then got a ride, which kind of comes in kind of 2/3 into the track just to pick it up before it goes into the main break. Just layers with the other hats. So when you listen to all the drums together, they sound like that. And then you add the kick. And then the bit with the cowbell. So very, very simple drums there. Just really, really punchy. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the actual 303 acid line. I didn't actually use a real 303 for this. I used an emulator, a VST emulator called the Audio Realism ABL. I've used it in so many of my records. If you've heard an acid track by me, good chances some of the acid was made using that. So it's just a really, really simple looped up acid groove. And I actually used a square wave on it. You can either use a sawtooth or a square, but I used a square on that because it kind of gives it a fuller sound. And then we just kind of open it up in the breaks. Just move the resonance and the cut off. just to emphasize that. And then there's just another acid part that layers it, and it's called scream acid. It's this squelchy sawtooth sound, and it sounds pretty mental on its own. But that, when you layer it with the actual main 303, just kind of gives it that real squelchy acid movement, which I think works great. And then if you use that with the drums and the kick, you just have that groove all day long. Okay, so now I'm going to run through the effect sounds we've got in the track. There's very few effects in here. We've got a white noise downshifter, just to emphasize the breaks. We've got this boom, which just kind of is on the main break. Very subtle subtone. Just that kind of sound. You don't really hear it. It just kind of, you feel it more on a big system. It's like a sub frequency. And then I've got this, which is pretty cool actually. It's just a panning sound, atmosphere sound. Now I use these in a lot of my records. They're kind of what I call a glue. And what they do is, to the ear, you don't really notice them because you've got all the main sounds of the track. But what they do is just frequency fill. So to give you an example, if I play the track, so that's it with the kick and the bass and the atmosphere. If I take the atmosphere out, you really notice it. Put it back in. So it's just really simple thing to do, but it really does kind of work, and it kind of makes the track sound fuller. So that's it for effects. We had the reverse crash, there's time stretch crash earlier, which I played you within the drums, which was this element. I suppose could be used as an effect. It's got loads of reverb on it, but yeah, that kind of works as well as a bit of a build up. But yeah, that's it in terms of effects. Again, nothing too complicated on this track, super simple. Now we've got the melodic elements. Again, there's not many. We've just got some stabs, which sound like this. And then we've got a hit on the end, which is the same stab with some more reverb. And that is it. We've then got the main bass change in the breakdown. Again, that was the ABL we used for that. Just hitting a couple of notes. Very, very simple, but it just kind of breaks up when you've got that main acid hook going through the whole track. Just have that bit of breathing space where the groove changes. Really works. And of course, the final element in the track is our dear friend Mikey's vocals, which he absolutely nailed.
Went into the underground. I didn't really understand what I was getting myself into.
Very, very simple. We've just put a little bit of reverb on that, a little bit of compression, and that's it. So we've got 20 elements in this track, and it's still, you know, that's all you need. Just a really good groove, really cool vocal, and some cool percussion.
Really didn't understand.
And one final thing I will say, you might have noticed that our kick and our bass was on a mono channel. That was just so they went down the middle, and then everything else went around it in terms of a mix. And it just kind of works. I think, especially for acid records, it really works when you do that. So yeah, that's it. I hope it's shown you a little bit of a behind the scenes look at how we make music, and that it doesn't have to be super complicated. You can make a really cool record with just a few elements and just get them all sitting and working together. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it.